What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? It's me, your girl, Demita McGee. I pray you are doing amazing. And I'm so excited to hop on here today because I got something big that I want to share with you guys, okay? Hold on just a second. As you can see, you can always join me there. That's DemitaMcGee.com. Welcome again. Welcome Facebook. Wait. It looks like something's going on here. Let me see. Let's go ahead. Okay, perfect. We're a little late with that Facebook. On Facebook, there was an issue. But what's going on Facebook? What's going on LinkedIn? What's going on YouTube? Welcome, welcome. I see you. What's up, sis? How are you? Thank you so much for hopping on live. Let's get this banner off the screen. If you are watching me via YouTube, you know what I would love for you to do? I'd love for you to go ahead and subscribe. Listen, which way? That way. Subscribe. All right. Listen, one of the things that we do here, I am Demita McGee. I'm a Christian business coach. And one of the things that we do is we help entrepreneurs, aspiring and current entrepreneurs, understand how to align their business with biblical principles. And in order to do that, we hop on here live to give some real tools, real tips, and real resources. And one of the ways that you can actually support that is just by hitting the subscribe button, liking the channel. So let's get going. All right. If we are not connected, you can also connect with me here on social media at DemitaMcGee.com. That's where you can find me on Facebook. That's also where you can find me on Instagram. Let's dig into what today is all about. You guys, something significant happened, very significant. And let me apologize ahead of time. The windows are open. It's a beautiful day. And so my dogs may hear some noise and they may start barking, but you know, that is the life that I live with babies and puppies and dogs around here. Okay. So what happened that I noticed, I was talking to my husband about something significant that's happened in my business recently with growing my coaching company. And I'm so excited to share this with you. And I'm praying that you get some like real value out of today. And then if there's someone that you know can use this, I want you to share this with them too. Because you guys, this is going to be big. I've had a 75% conversion rate when it comes to prospects or prospective clients to clients. That means that 75% of the people who have reached out to me have actually become paying clients. And I want to share with you why that's happening and how it's happening, because you can implement it into your own business model and it will be absolutely incredible and amazing. So that's what today is all about. All right. So I got notes because I don't want to forget anything. I wanted to be strategic in sharing this with you guys today, and I didn't want to miss anything. So as I was talking to my husband, I realized yesterday, actually, man, 75% of the people that I've reached out to, and then I was talking to my son about it too. I have a teenager. It's like they've converted. I did the math and I was like, wow, this is incredible. So how is this happening? There are two things that what I used to do versus what I'm doing now. They're very different, y'all. I mean, like very different. So in the beginning, what I do before, and I want you to understand that, yes, I have been in business for 6 years, but had I known this 6 years ago, I would have been doing these things back then. And of course, I could have collapsed these time zones. What I'm doing right now, or time frames, what I'm doing right now, you can actually execute in your business and you can start having some results even faster than I did. So what I used to do was I would be everywhere all at the same time, like literally everywhere. I post on every social media platform. I try to keep up with them all. I download them all, try to understand how they all worked, just get like the bare minimum and then just kind of start posting. But I didn't make sure that the content was specialized per channel, but I just used them all. Okay. Guilty of doing that. I didn't outline my specific zone of genius. So what does that mean? That means I'm really good at specific things. And I didn't focus on those specific things. I focused on being all things to all people. So at the same time, in my business 6 years ago, when I first launched, I did social media management. I built marketing funnels. I did sales pages. I did email marketing. I was a marketing assistant. I was connecting people to events and speaking engagement. I was literally doing all the things and specialized in nothing. So as a result, I became a generalist and I was spreading myself so incredibly thin. That was another challenge. Another thing that I did before was I just shot from the hip. So if I thought of something, I just do it. I didn't take any time to plan things out. I just did it. Write a few things out, bam, done. The biggest thing that I did, you guys, was I chased income. I didn't chase impact. I was so concerned about making money that I did not do what was right for the business all the time or any of the time. So I followed wherever I felt like the money was. And that would lead me in all these different directions. So I was really unfocused, insanely unfocused. Okay. Yes, I was literally a jack of all trades, sis. I was a master of none. Okay. All that's changed. So I completely changed how I do my business. And it took a couple of months for me to really start to gain traction from this. But I'm going to give you guys the details and the goods today because I really want you to understand how to grow your whatever company you're in, because this really doesn't matter, y'all. It really doesn't matter. How can you position yourself so your ideal client, your ideal customer, they find you? You're not out all the time finding and looking and searching for them. How can you put yourself in a position to be found? That's what today is about. And that's what I'm about to start sharing with you now. So the first thing I did was I got really, really clear on who my ideal customer avatar was. And I know that's not sexy conversation. Nobody wants to sit down and try and figure out, okay, who is my ideal client? Like, okay, I got an idea, but no, you guys, I got specific. I was talking to my husband today, so I was so excited about how specific and honed and dialed in I got about her. Now, let me talk about her for a minute. She has a name. Her name is Olivia. Olivia is a Gen X woman, specifically 47 years old. She's well educated. She's so well educated that she's seen as a mentor by her peers, by people who are who are younger than her, who are working with her. She mentors them. She is someone who volunteers at a church. She volunteers with various organizations. People see her and they think, oh my gosh, she is so polished. She is so bomb. I wish my life could be something like hers. She is killing the game. But guess what? Olivia doesn't feel that way. Olivia is a person who is married with children. Olivia's gotten so wrapped up in her roles as mom, in her role as wife, in her role as volunteer, in her role as good Christian woman, that Olivia has completely lost herself in those roles and she feels so incredibly unfulfilled. When she was younger, when she first entered the career world and the world of employment, she was excited because she had these really big goals. And she had aspirations and she was aggressive about going after them. But when she got caught up in these roles of life, she looked up and here she is, haven't chased any of those things, haven't really gone after them, really focused on being mom, wife, volunteer, and she lost herself in those. And that's why she's unfulfilled. She loves God, y'all. She loves him. It's no question that she loves God. She can talk about Jesus all day. She can probably quote you the Bible. She can tell you exactly what her children like on each one of their specific meals. She can tell you exactly how her husband likes for his clothes to look, what he likes in the car, his favorite radio station. She can tell you all those things. Olivia is part of the sandwich generation, which is Generation X. So she has older parents and she's raising a family at the same time. And so in all these roles, just like my girl, Kingdom Investor Motivation said, I've been there, lost. In all these roles, she's completely lost herself. And that vision that she had before, where God let her know she was going to do big things, she was going to impact masses of people, she lost it. And as a result, feels unfulfilled in the current roles that she's playing. Even though people look up to her, even though people absolutely love her, even though she has this infectious energy and people can learn so much from her wisdom, she doesn't have the confidence to move forward in that business endeavor. She oftentimes feels like an imposter. She oftentimes feels like, I don't know if I can do this, but she's just starting. Now hear this part. She's starting to feel like I can do this. I gotta do it, or I'm not going to ever get that sense of fulfillment that I'm looking for. Y'all, I know her better than she knows her because I am her. I was her. She's trying to balance it. And when I took the time to figure out who she was, guess what happens? I know I'm going to turn off people who aren't believers. I get that. I know that people who aren't maybe practicing Christians or who feel like, you know what, I'm not even about all that religious life. I know they may not tune into my YouTube channel. They may not connect with me on LinkedIn. They may absolutely hate my social media, but guess what? I know I'm not here to serve them. That's not who I'm meant to make an impact to. So one of the first things you have to do in order for your ideal client, for you to increase these conversion rates and use the strategy that I'm going to share with you today, one of the first things you got to do is get really clear about who it is you are helping and who you are serving. That is one of the very first things you have to do. And I'll be honest with y'all, I put that off for a long time. But if you want to get those results, then you need to know who it is that you have been placed on this planet to serve. Now, don't feel like this has to be perfect. Just start. Just get started. One of the foundational scriptures for my company is Zechariah 4:10. Do not despise humble beginnings, because God rejoices to see the work begin. All right. Just start. You'll get clarity on who this person is for you more and more after you keep listening to them. The more customers and clients you get, you'll get clarity on them. Listen, when you get really clear about who your ideal client, ideal customer is, when you get really clear, and Olivia is an avatar because she is a symbol of the actual person and people that I'm talking to. But what does that mean? Does that mean that nobody else, does that mean that no men will ever be interested in what I offer? Absolutely not. See, there's this gravy that happens. There's this icing on the cake that you get when you identify the person you are meant to serve and you really focus on providing value for them. When you do that, guess what happens? You still attract other people who aren't part of your ideal client avatar, who aren't part of that customer base, and it's perfectly okay. We'll take them too. All right, we will take them too. Now, what's the second thing? I hang out where Olivia hangs out. You guys, I did some really deep digging and research. Generation X is known as the forgotten generation because we're sandwiched in between baby boomers who get a lot of marketing attention and millennials who get a lot of marketing attention. And we're sandwiched in between because we're taking care of children. In fact, a lot of our children may be millennials. A lot of our children are Generation Z and Generation A, but we're also still providing or taking care of our parents. They're getting to that point that we're taking care of our parents as well. And so we're sandwiched in between. And so what did I do, y'all? I did some digging on the marketing behavior. So what type of advertisements do we listen to? Do we listen to podcasts? What social media platforms are we on? Do we like magazines? Do we like written? Do we like print? Do we like regular television? Like, where is Olivia hanging out? And guess what? That's where I hang out. That's where I share content. That's where I share things like this. If Olivia's not there, I'm not there. Because in order for me to place myself in a position for Olivia to find me, I got to make sure I'm in the places where Olivia is hanging out. That's why you got to know who your ideal customer avatar is. All right. Oh, great question here. Can your ideal client change over time? Yes. Did it change for you? Yes. Let me explain. That's such a great question. When I first launched my company, I was not a Christian business coach. I was a marketing person. I didn't even like the term coach. So I didn't focus on being spiritually led. I just got started. I got started. And it was through the process of getting started, the process of trial and error, I figured out who I didn't like to work with. And I figured out who I wouldn't work with. I figured out who set my soul on fire in a good way. I figured out who I got excited. Oh, I got a Zoom call coming up. And then the ones that I had a Zoom call coming up and I felt like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I just got to get it over. I figured those things out. It was trial and error. It was testing, right? And so a great example of things changing over time, there was a time when I really wanted to have an international audience. That was something that was really important to me. I wanted to be able to say I was an international coach. Y'all, and I can say that now. I've had clients that are not in the US. Now, that is not something that I want to do. In time, perhaps, but now, not on my radar. I remember one of the clients that I had who lived on the other side of the globe. She was 14 hours, I think, somewhere between 14 and 17 hours ahead of me in time. Okay. And I dreaded those calls with her. I dreaded them. One, because our time zones were so incredibly different. And so it required this level of flexibility, honestly, that I didn't like. Some people may like that. It may not bother you. I didn't like it. That was one. And then she was a very draining client. So She helped me understand some of the things about what she was looking for, because this was at a time when I needed the money. So I was taking any and everybody. Any and everybody. She helped me understand, I don't like this about a client. I don't want to work with this type of person. This is not what I'm looking for. And I don't want to be international anymore right now, because I can't handle that role in my life. The way my life is set up right now, I don't want to be open any and every time of the day. I'm very specific about when I run and operate my business, right? So that's a great question. Thank you for asking me that. So you got to hang out where your ideal client, your ideal customer hangs out. If you hang out in another place, how are they going to find you? If your ideal customer is on TikTok, but you're on Reddit, they're never going to find you. If your ideal customer is on Snapchat, but you're on LinkedIn, how do you expect them to find you? So guess where I hang out? Where she hangs out. She hangs out in 3 places. Now that doesn't mean that some people may not have other social media accounts. They may. But I know that my ideal customer avatar, I know she's on Facebook, okay? Even though I know that very young people feel like Facebook is for old people, that's where my ideal client is hanging out. She's on Instagram, less than Facebook. Top 3 channels: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Those are the top 3 channels where my ideal customer avatar hangs out. And then Instagram is kind of just like gravy. I don't have to be in all the other places, because guess what? She's not in those other places like that. I know that my ideal customer avatar, I know only 30% listen to podcasts. I know, right? But then there's another segment of the podcast that a large majority of them listen to podcasts every day. I know only 30% of mine listen to podcasts. I know her ideal method of is not necessarily streaming radio. She listens to streaming radio when she's at work, but the reality is she listens to regular radio. I know some of you guys are on here like, who listens to regular radio? My girl does. So I know that the top brands that she follows and that she frequents are Apple, Samsung, Netflix, Walmart, Disney. I know this. I know where she's hanging out, so I know I can hang out in those places. I know a couple of the influencers that she follows, Sarah Jakes. What's her last name, y'all? I got stuck. It's not Coleman. Is it Coleman? What's her last name? Roberts. Sarah Jakes Roberts, Priscilla Shire. I know those are a couple of the people that she follows. I know where she is. Y'all see how I got deep in this thing? You see how I got super deep? Look at you looking out for me. Thank you. Exactly. That's how deep I got into this. That's how deep I got into it. So since I know where she is, that's where I'm hanging out. And since I know who she is, where she is, I know the challenges that she has, the questions that she's asking, the fact that she's unfulfilled, she's trying to find balance. Her role, those roles that she's playing are not as glamorous as people think they are outside of her life, even though they look up to her. I know she's lost in those roles. She's pushed her vision to the side, and now she's ready to do something else. Y'all see that? That's what I know about her. Now, I only produce content for her. That client avatar that I talked to you guys about, her name is Olivia. When I create content, I create it as if I'm writing it to her, as if I'm writing a letter to her. And you know what happens when I create it as if I'm writing a letter to her? I know that there are people who say, I identify with that person. She is talking directly to me. How does she even know? That's why Kingdom Investor Motivation can say, I've been there, because she can relate to Olivia. And so when I write content and create videos and create content for Olivia, Kingdom Investor Motivation feels like, how does she know that this was in my head? Because her life is similar to Olivia's. So I only create content for her. What else? I speak her language. Y'all, this is really important. So what have I told you so far about positioning myself and how you can position yourself to be found by your ideal client, your ideal customer? This does not happen overnight, y'all. But if you focus on it, I promise you, you can win in this area. And it feels so good. When you have 3 out of 4 people converting into paying customers, and we're talking $1,000 a month customers, $150 a service, $500 a service customers and clients. We're talking legitimate income and revenue. When you have that, and some of this income is recurring, when you have that, it's worth getting good at. It's worth just putting in a little bit of time. And it doesn't even take a lot of time. It's a little bit of time. Okay. I speak her language. I speak her language. And you guys want to hang in there because I'm going to show you an exact tool that I use. I'm going to share it with you, the exact tool that I use to really narrow this thing down. And it's going to be so valuable. I cannot wait to share that with you. Okay. I speak her language. You guys, there's a language that anesthesiologists speak. And I don't understand it because I'm not an anesthesiologist. Okay. When you go to a networking event that's full of psychologists and mental health professionals, there's a language that they speak. There's vocabulary that they use, and I'm completely unfamiliar with. And guess what? If I was in there, I couldn't speak that language because I don't know it. There's a language that your ideal customer speaks. Your ideal customer. There's a language that he or she or they speak. And you got to speak that language. You got to speak it. That means that you use that language when you're writing. So let me give you an example. When you're talking and when you're sharing and when you're writing. Sometimes, y'all, I can get too educated, like writing like I'm writing some research paper and some of this stuff that I'm sharing. Olivia don't care about none of that. Listen, Olivia may not use terms right now like, I don't know, it may be something simple like build wealth. That don't seem that big, right? And let me tell you, because I was Olivia, I am Olivia. Okay. And I remember the first time I wanted to introduce the product, a service to a prospect. Man, I told her, listen, you can really make good money. You know what she said to me? My husband and I don't focus on making money. We focus on building wealth. Okay. Help me, teach me. I changed my verbiage immediately. You guys, that was huge. That was so big because I didn't use that. I didn't use those terms. So guess what? I know that Olivia may not say build wealth, even though that's what she wants to do. I know she's focused on making the money she needs to save, to invest, to pay down debt, to get rid of college debt. I know my son doesn't want to go to sleep, you guys. I'm sorry. I know that that's what she wants to do, right? If he keeps making noise, I'm going to text my husband and ask him to talk to him. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let's see if we can get. Oh, it looks like he stopped. One second. Olivia has these challenges too, y'all. Okay, so I use the terms, I speak the language Olivia speaks because I am Olivia. So you got to find out what is the language that your ideal customer, your ideal client speaks, and use that language. Don't try to sound over educated if that's not how they talk. Don't try to sound less educated if that's not how they talk. Don't try to sound like you're from the streets if that's not how they talk. You got to figure out the language that your ideal customer uses and use that language. Okay. Then you have to know where they are on their journey. So, Luane, I'm going to mute myself for 1 second. Okay, y'all? Hold on. I got to be mama. I'm back. Okay. You got to know where your person is on their journey. I could spend a long time talking about this. This is something I did not understand in the beginning, but it is imperative to understand now. If you are selling a service, there is a place where someone is on their journey. And in order to be ready to purchase the service that you have, they need to be in the spot to purchase it. A better way to explain that is I have a program. It's called Zero to Profit. This is not to sell that program. It is not open right now for enrollment. But I have a program that is called Zero to Profit. The purpose of this program is to help you take your service-based business and actually develop it, identify who your ideal client is, package your service, and be able to deliver it. So by the time you complete the program, which is only 8 weeks, you have actually recouped your entire investment because you signed up your first client. In order for somebody to be prepared to enroll and register for this program, one, they got to have the confidence that their service is actually needed or good enough. If you question whether or not you can actually deliver a service, why would you enroll in Zero to Profit? So I know before we get there, we got to work on the confidence, right? That's where they are on their journey. That's one place. Another place where they are on that journey is they want to actually be able to figure out, what should I sell? You guys, I did some market research and conducted quite a few polls. And one of the things that I found out was that a lot of people are so multi-talented, they have absolutely no idea what it is that they should be selling. They don't know what service to package. Should I sell baskets, or should I sell the basket weaving service? Should I sell swimming lessons, or should I sell cooking lessons? Should I sell cupcakes, or should I teach people how to make them? Like, what do I actually sell? And so one of the first steps in order to be ready for Zero to Profit is to, one, have the confidence that you can be an entrepreneur, and two, actually have a service in mind that you want to market and deliver. So I know that a lot of people who relate with Olivia, I need to help them build their confidence, understanding that, girl, it's people out there waiting on what you have to sell. They waiting for you to get started. That's one. And two, sis, do you understand how powerful the intellectual property that you have is? We just got to get it out of here and create a service. When I help her get the confidence and create the service, she's prepared to actually enroll in the Zero to Profit program. Y'all get that? Now, how do I find out what she's looking for? This is what I'm excited to share with you guys. You guys, there is a tool. That tool is called Ubersuggest. Hold on. I didn't type it in the beginning, and I should have. Now, we're about to dig into this tool for a couple of minutes. How are we doing on time? Good. We're about to dig into this tool for a couple of minutes. Before we dig into the tool, I want to let you know that if you are watching this and you want some help with this process, you want some help just figuring out, do I have a viable business? Demita, Olivia is me, and I'm ready to move forward. I want you to book a complimentary discovery call, a complimentary strategy session. Yes, it is 15 minutes, me and you on the phone, with me hearing from you, hearing more about what it is that you have to offer, or not have to offer, but more about your vision for your business, right? If I am a good person to help you, we'll keep going. If not, by the time you get off that phone call, you're going to have some value. You can book it right here at call.demitamcgee.com. Now that we got that out of the way, listen, Ubersuggest. This is what it's called, okay? Let's talk about what Ubersuggest is. I'm going to share my screen with you. It is an incredible tool that you can use for free, okay? It's a free tool. They have a paid subscription, but they also have a free tool. And let me find the tab. This is what it's going to look like when you come to the screen. Okay, you guys see that? This is what it'll look like. This is Ubersuggest. I'm going to walk you through how I find, or how I put myself in a position for Olivia to find me. Now that I know who Olivia is, now that I understand the needs that Olivia has, now that I know the questions that she's asking, how do I position myself for Olivia to find me? Okay, you guys ready? This is how. Let's get back to, I'm going to share a different screen. All right, a different file. And hopefully you guys can see this. It's going to let me know if you can or if you can't. What you are looking at right now, okay, what you're looking at is the other side of Ubersuggest. When you log in, you can actually get some of this information free. When you log in and when you get some things, it's a keyword tool. So every day people are performing searches on Google. One of the top searches, I could always, let me scroll up this way. Let's start with, I want you guys to see this. Let's start with business coach, because what happens often, you guys, is we want to be known for some of the biggest things online. Business coach gets searched every single, this is what the search volume is. You see this? The number of searches for this particular keyword during an entire month. So every month, that means that 8,100 people are searching for this keyword. Everyone types it in Google so they can see what the search results are. 8,100. Now, the average person will say, oh, I want to be on the very first page for that specific keyword. It's going to be a little challenging, especially in the beginning. It's going to take some work. You can begin to rank for these terms that have larger search volume. As you can see there, it says that the search volume is high. All right. So you can begin to rank for some of those things. It's going to take you a while to get on the very first page of Google. So when you guys are searching for things, when you're searching for stuff on Google, how often do you go to the 5th page? Most often we don't. Most of us get what we're looking for on page 1. Some of us might go to page 2. Most people are not even going to make it to page 3. So of course our goal is to get to that first page. Okay, that's the goal. So instead of using, you see what it says keyword overview business coach? So there's some people that are going to Google over 8,000 every month and typing in business coach. What if there was a way that I could make this thing a little more specific and maybe I could get to page 1? I'm going to type in Christian business coach. Let's start there. It's a much lower search volume. 180 people are searching for this term every month. 180. Now, on the surface, you may start thinking, that's really not even that good. Like, why would I want something with such a small amount of search volume? Exactly. She said, we don't go past page 2. We don't. Like, we really don't. Okay. So for a lot of us, we be like, why would I want to go with something with such a low search volume? What happens when you start to get really specific with these terms, y'all, is that this person is looking for very specific information. People that look up the term business coach, while my ideal client avatar, Olivia, is in there, she may not be the majority of people. There are men in there, right? Which isn't a problem. It's just not my ideal client. There are people that don't practice the Christian faith in there, which is perfectly fine, just not my ideal client. I know that if someone types in the words Christian business coach, I know exactly what they're looking for, and I know I meet that need. So my goal is to rank here. Now, ultimately, yes, I want to rank for business coach, but let's see what happens when we really start to break this down. So you guys, I'm really giving you the behind the scenes for me. So when I go into this link called rank tracking, it's letting me know that over the last 30 days, I moved up for 3 keywords. None have moved down and 17 have not changed, right? When we look right here, Christian business coach, you guys, I ranked number 5. That means that when you type in Christian business coach, I will be the 5th result that you see on the very first page of Google. And we've actually moved up. Why is this important? Every single woman that I have talked to this year who has found me on Google typed in Christian business coach. And 75% of them have actually converted and become clients of mine. That is massive. Massive. Now, let's look at the transparency of it all. Here, business coach for Christian women. Nobody's really looking this up, even though somehow I've moved from spot 100 to spot number 2. Nobody's really looking that up. This right here has been my exact title for years. Christian women's business coach. I rank number 1. There are only 10 people searching for this every single month. But you want to know the beauty in those 10 people who are searching is that every time they do that search every month, I know that all 10 of them will see me. They will see my website. I know all 10 will. I know that of the 170 people who are searching for Christian business coach, that a large majority of them are going to see me because I rank at number 5. Y'all, that is so huge, huge. Here are some other things that I'm following. Here, 880, Christian business. I don't rank yet. Anything you see a dash, I don't rank for these just yet. In the top 100, I got nothing, right? But guess what? In time, those will change as well. In time, those will also change. So this is how you have a person who, and my position is 23 across Google in the places where I rank. So this site is called Ubersuggest. One of the things that I love, I'll show you this dashboard really quickly. One of the things that I absolutely love is it will show you places where you can actually take advantage of, you can make some adjustments to your website because this checks your website. So it'll show you some places where you can make adjustments, okay? And when you make those adjustments, it lets you know, is it going to be easy? Is it going to be hard? This is telling me that, listen, you need to create content for Business Coach. Why create content? Because there's a good chance you could rank well on this page for this keyword. Business Coach is the keyword, you guys, that has 8,100 people looking for it every single month. It says create content for Start a Business from Home. Why? There is a good chance you could rank well on page 1 for this. And look at that, the search volume, 4,400 people are searching for this every single month. Christian business, create content for it because there's a good chance you could rank well on page 1 for this keyword. Search volume, 880 words a month. So this allows me to break this thing down and see where can I position myself where Olivia is actually hanging out. I'm going to show you one more thing on here, guys. When I go, this is the dashboard, and when I scroll down, it's going to let me know that for the traffic that I'm currently receiving on my website, it would cost me $42.80 if I paid for ads to actually get that traffic. But it's organic. This is traffic I'm not paying for. This is just me doing the work. That's all this is. And this is called search engine optimization. You may have heard the term SEO. That's what this is. And so my on-page SEO score, meaning my website, on my website, SEO score is 74. Look at how great this is. So I want you to know I'm not super advanced in this technique, right? I just started doing simple things. What are those simple things? This video that I'm sharing with you guys today, I'm going to take this video. I'm going to take some of the content. I'm going to write some of the content out. I actually have something that I use. It's a service. What is that service called, y'all? It's called Descript. I'll write it down. DESC. Called Descript. Okay. I use Descript to transcribe my videos. That's what it's called. I'm going to use that service. I'm going to take this file, pop it into Descript, in literally 2 to 3 minutes, it's going to transcribe the entire video. So I don't have to send it to a transcriptionist and wait 2 or 3 days. I'll have the information in literally a matter of minutes, okay? Or a matter of, minutes. Once that happens, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull some content out and I'm going to write some things up, just a quick summary, because I know people like to watch video. But I also know that in order for me to continue to put myself in a position where Olivia can find me, I got to write some content so Google says, listen, this chick is who she says she is. And when you create it to the point that people actually want to share it, there's so many different techniques where you can increase your SEO scores. But the first thing you got to do is figure out who your client is. Who is your ideal client? It will change over time, but you got to start somewhere, okay? You guys, was this valuable or was this valuable? I'm so grateful for taking time to actually start learning about the skill. And I feel like I'm still a novice in this area, maybe intermediate, but it's something that I've been interested in for a while. And I actually start putting the pieces in place and I'm starting to see the growth from it. And it didn't take a long time. I just recently got very serious about sharing this information and doing these things. So remember, if that is not correct, I just realized that my name is spelled incorrectly on there. What kind of nonsense is that? There we go. That is better. That would be the correct link, you guys. Call.DamitaMcGee.com. Okay, call.DamitaMcGee.com. That's where you can schedule your free 15-minute or complimentary 15-minute discovery call. Let's see if I can help you. Let me find out the vision for your business. You guys, I am in love with the direction that God is taking this journey for me. I am in love with the direction that my company is growing, and I'm grateful. So thank you for hanging out with me this evening. I appreciate you. Remember to definitely like and subscribe, and I will see you the very next time. Remember, the Summer of the Christian Entrepreneur series is still going, so make sure you hop on, you enjoy. And if you are on my email list, you received an email today that let you know that the Christian Women's Business Academy podcast is relaunching next week on Thursday. We will be on all your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, all of them, Google, whatever you got, we will be there. And I'm so insanely just grateful. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I pray this was valuable and useful. If you have any specific direct questions for me or anything you want to share, just email me. I actually read them. All right. I appreciate you guys so much. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Peace out.